Look, I'm here today with Ian Stone of Palm Cove Weddings, and I'm talking to Ian about the impact of the shutdown of the tourism industry in Queensland generally, but more specifically what's happened in Palm Cove, what's happened in far north Queensland, and how the impact is affecting the daily lives of lots of people. So Ian, great to catch up with you.
Yeah, good to see you, Kevin.
And thanks for having me out here. It's not really a typical Palm Cove day. I mean, it's a bit blustery and
It's beautiful.
Wintry today, but it's beautiful for us. It's a
Yeah.
pleasant change.
Yeah, right.
Look, could you just give us some background on what's happened to Palm Cove in the last few months and the impact that the lockdown has had on your industry and Palm Cove generally and the region? If you could talk some facts and figures.
Sure, Ken, happy to do so. Well, I'm part of a very vibrant wedding industry. It's an industry that's usually quite recession-proof because people love to come from southern states up here to be married. As a matter of fact, about 80 to 90% of every wedding up here is someone that doesn't live here. And our stats show that they're from places like Sydney and Melbourne and Adelaide.
Wow.
So it's quite important that they get here. So how big is that for the region? Well, let's talk over 1,500 weddings a year, most of which aren't from here.
Dear me. Wow.
Each one of those weddings brings about 40 to 50 people who stay here as holidays. They don't just come and go. They'll stay here for up to a week. They'll eat in the restaurants. They'll stay in our resorts. They'll go to the reef. They'll act like a tourist. So all that has just stopped. So our industry, a lot of micro businesses, small businesses, that relied on these southerners come up to be married, and we gave them a very good product. It was world class.
Oh, I've seen the growth in that industry. Fantastic.
It's essentially been stopped, which is cut off at the knee. So we are absolutely hoping that our borders open soon so that some certainty can be given to those couples and all their family and guests that were planning to come up to our beautiful region.
Of course, because you have to plan weddings well in advance, and you can't just turn them on and off.
No. They went off very quickly, though, I have to tell you that.
They did go off.
They went off quickly, and people, wanted money back, and so it was a double whammy. Not only things got stopped, refunds had to be given.
So, in your particular case, in say Palm Cove, what do you think is the financial consequence of that just for this beautiful part of the world? I used to live here,
yes,
as a matter of fact, and loved it.
Yeah.
So what's the financial impact here?
Okay, well, let's just start from the top. Let's say weddings was a $100 million industry, which is true, and that encompasses all the business they bring to the region. So $100 million. Palm Cove accounted for about 30 to 40 million of that, probably about a third between Palm Cove, Cairns and Port.
Gee whiz.
So we're talking now about $30 million worth of business that was brought to that. It's pretty much stopped. I mean, most of the weddings in Palm Cove are from visitors, and they've just had to stop.
Okay, and it's not just weddings in the domestic market, there's an international wedding market too,
correct,
which was very, very lucrative for us.
It is. It wasn't statistically anywhere near as big as the southern states. It might have been 5% of the market, and they don't bring as many guests. So the real value of a wedding to the region is not people that come up and hire a photographer such as myself or a caterer. It's the fact that they bring guests who stay here as tourists.
Right.
It's a very, very good way of bringing tourists to the region. One couple only has to decide to come here, and they'll bring 40 to 50 guests. There's this multiplier factor.
That's an enormous multiplier, isn't it?
It is. There's nothing out there like it. So if we can not only open our borders, but think, hey, we always had this lucrative little gem under our nose, let's build it back up.
And look, we're sitting in the very popular Chill Cafe in Palm Cove right now. There's not a soul here apart from us. Normally this would be bustling. There would be people all over the place, correct? That's a correct assumption? Yeah. And here we are, we're like in a ghost town.
Well, they've had to, put their restriction rules in place, but there's not many interstate visitors, which is what we'd normally see once Easter's come and gone.
So it's a fair guess on my part, I think, to say that you want a definitive date as to when the borders are going to be
absolutely
unlocked.
If we can tell our southern couples that the border is going to be open on this date, please come and we'll help arrange your wedding now. It will create that certainty of everyone's future, including theirs.
Ian, we're going to do our best to ensure that we get that message through. Thank you so much for your time this morning, and let me wish you all the best for the rest of the year. And let's hope that the borders are unlocked very, very quickly.
I'm confident we will. I think common sense will prevail.
Thank you very much
Yeah.
for being with me.
Thanks, mate.
Ta.
See you soon.